Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Boy, I got all sorts of stuff going on. First thing I got going today is I got the hose going on the 7.3, trying to cool down the radiator and everything because I need to put a new thermostat in it. The one that's in there, it's opening way too early. It's not allowing the clutch fan to engage fully. Therefore, my air conditioning is getting warm when I'm sitting at stoplights, so that's the first thing that I have going on. Another thing I got going is the black Corvette has got a serious belt squeak. I bought a new power steering pulley for it, so I got to take the ABS module out of it to be able to get the pulley on there, pull that off. While I'm at it, I'm going to pull the supercharger and everything back off, check the tensioner, just make sure everything else is good. Bought some new AC Delco heavy duty belts for it today. If you're running a Pro Charger on one of these, or if you're installing a Pro Charger on one of these, just to let you know a good belt length to get started with, especially if you're using the A&A Corvette supercharger mounting bracket system. Get a belt from an 87 Chevrolet Corvette. They're 89.5 inches in length, and that's just about the right length that you need for adapting one of these to a C5 bed. Need to fire up the C7, that hasn't run in a while. Actually, I've only driven it twice since I bought it. Went to fire up my buddy C6 Grand Sport. It's showing an engine code. I'm about to jump in there and get that fixed. That's probably the first thing I'm gonna do while the 7.3 is cooling down. Okay, so inside the C6, I fired this up just a minute ago. The battery went completely dead on it. I noticed it has a check engine light on. I went to my code reader and I already scanned the code, so I know what it is. It's basically because the battery went dead. I am going to erase the codes. Says it's all cleared. Let's try this again. Yep, check engine light just went out. Anyways, this is my buddy Michael's car. He lives in Germany. All right, next quick thing I gotta fix today is my workbench, actually. So the tabletop on my workbench is solid wood, and that being the case in the summertime, it gets... As I was saying, in the summertime, it gets really hot. This wood table is really dry. So whatever moisture's in it from the winter months, it kind of dissipates out of it. And my mat that I use on here, which some people have asked me about, this is actually bus flooring. It's got a grit to it. You wouldn't want to scrub your buddy's face on it, or maybe you would want to scrub your buddy's face on it. Depends on how much you like your buddy. But it's slip resistant, it's stain resistant. I've spilled oil, brake clean, starting fluids, all sorts of stuff on this thing. And very easily just spray it down with a little bit of degreaser and it cleans right up. But this is transit bus flooring, or the type of bus flooring that you find in the city buses. It's really good stuff. But in the summertime, the wood contracts, it kind of shortens up, and this thing got a big old wave in it all the way down. So I've pulled all the little carpentry tacks out of it, I've stretched it out, and now I'm just finishing nailing it down again so it's nice and flat, and it gives me a good area to where I can work on different projects. A couple of things I got going again is there's my 203 degree thermostat for my 7.3 liter Power Stroke. There is the new billet power steering pulley for the Corvette. The truck also needs a new door latch. I have built myself another new air cleaner for the Corvette, and yes, I do have to make my own air cleaners for that car because of how I built the cooling system. I know a lot of people will say, well, if you put it in the right spot, you don't have to worry about it. guys, my car doesn't run at 216 degrees. My car runs at about 193 degrees, so I don't need to have the air cleaner out in front of the radiator pulling up that cool air because it's already fairly cool air coming through to begin with. Something I'll probably change though. I finished nailing this table down. I only got a couple more to do, and then I get to decide which project I want to jump on to next. I'm not sure. And honestly, I don't want to do any of them today. It's way too hot here. Sorry for the delay in the videos. As you guys have known, number one, the shop is located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And everybody here has plumb lost their rabbit ass minds. Don't ask me why, but they're walking out in traffic, they're blocking traffic, they were rioting by my house in the last couple of weeks. It's been pure silliness, and that's about all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not getting into the politics of all the nonsense out there. Hey, here's a little history on my workbench. So you'll notice that my workbench has a number 8 on the front of it. That is because these are the chute gate panels off of the Ace Bowen Rodeo Arena, which is located at Camp Pendleton, California. That is a rodeo that ran for almost 60 years. I haven't talked about it on the channel. I am a professional rodeo cowboy from way back in the day. I was a bronc rider. I came out of this particular chute on numerous occasions in which I have pictures of, and the opportunity came up where I could actually get the chute gate panels, and it was a piece of history and something that I wanted to have. So they got mounted on the front of my workbench, just kind of a little bit of a conversation piece. Okay, so for the next task, and you guys, if all 18 of you that subscribe to my channel have seen around the garage, you've probably seen a car sitting underneath the cover here. I haven't really shown it a whole lot. I've owned it for a little while. I've only driven it twice. I finished up the black C5, and quite honestly, I enjoy driving that car so much. I really haven't driven the red one, but I do need to get it uncovered, give it a start, and honestly, it sounds fantastic. So let's give that a start, and that's one more thing we can knock off the list of to-dos. C7 Z06. It's not new by any means. It's a 2017. Found it at a local dealership. It is the ZL3 package. Got the nice interior, all the nice creature comforts. Had 6,800 miles on it, and I got it for an absolute steal. It was actually cheaper than what I paid for the Cadillac. But I've only driven it twice because I've been driving the black C5. And I guess if I had to make a real seat of the pants comparison, don't get me wrong, the C7 Z06 is an awesome car. But with all the modifications I got to the black C5, being supercharged and the transmission and the suspension and everything else, I would have to tell you, from a seat of the pants opinion, I think the black one will outrun it. Pretty darn well sure of it. Okay, so on to the power stroke now. So basically here's what we got going on. The 7.3 power stroke, and it doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter how hot it gets, these things are cold-blooded. They do not like to get up to operating temperature whatsoever. As a result, even in this summer heat, it's running very cool. The viscous clutch fan on this particular 7.3, it is not adjustable like it is on a lot of vehicles. Otherwise, I would have just adjusted the viscous clutch fan and gone with it like that. But it's really not the right way. This engine is supposed to run, you know, close to 200 degrees to cook off all the fuel, to get all the fuel economy and everything out of it. And basically what's happening, because my thermostat is opening way too soon, it's not drawing enough hot air to get that spring on the front of the viscous fan to fully engage the valve on the front of it. Therefore, it's not pulling enough air through the radiator. And when I'm sitting at stoplights, what's happening is, well, I should say, when I'm driving through traffic, the AC is blowing right at 40 degrees, even a little bit less. I've even clocked it as I got a thermostat in the dash vent. On long road trips, it's even blowing 38 degrees, which is fantastic. You could breed some penguins in there if you wanted to. The AC system's all new. It's a new compressor, new clutch, new belt, new dryer, new orifice tube. It's got a new condenser in the front. It's even got an electric fan on the front of it to kind of help it along a little bit. But it's just not enough. So it's time to address this thermostat, get a new one in there so it's actually drawing enough air through the radiator. The radiator's getting hot enough so it'll engage the spring, which will engage the valve on the front of the viscous fan. And when I'm sitting at stoplights, it should actually pull enough air through to get enough air across the AC condenser so that my temperature stays at 40 degrees in the cab. So that's the next project. Okay, so I got the old thermostat pulled out, the old gasket. I'm sure I don't have to show that to most of you guys. If you're tackling this project, you've probably done thermostats before. Cleaned up the surfaces. Nice part about the 7.3 thermostat, it does have a nice O-ring on it. The real bugger is getting to the back mounting hole. So, to solve that, I put the bolt in the socket. I put a little small piece of duct tape on there so that I can get this lined up down here and start to get it threaded in without my bolt falling off into the engine compartment somewhere where the other one is that I can't seem to find. But I'm sure it'll fall out and get that started. You don't want to put too much tape on there because when you go to pull your socket out, it'll stay behind. And another reason you don't want to leave your socket on there to get lost is because it's the infamous 10 millimeter. And you've probably already lost 20 of these, just like I have. All right, y'all, so basically got the thermostat all done. Ended up doing a little bit of shop cleanup. Another reason I haven't been doing a whole lot of videos and haven't been doing a whole lot of wrenching is because I ended up breaking this thumb. Still pretty swollen, a little bit out of shape, and damn thing's getting pretty sore again tonight. So get it picked back up tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll get another video out this week of getting the belts done, getting rid of the squeak in the belts on the Corvette. Show you some more about that. We'll do the door handle or the door latch on the 7.3 Ford Power Stroke. And I'm sure something else will break between now and then. Like the video, give it a broken thumbs up, and we'll get another video out this week.